Monday, come visit me and advertise my goods for me.
I am Ande Nyapuri, the CEO, the Crystal Global Impression, located in Roadblock. Taraba News has been instrumental in promoting our brand and connecting us with the Taraba market. Thank you, Chief Gabriel Olainkan. Thank you, Taraba Business School. Thank you, Taraba News.
Taraba Business School gave me a voice. I'm now a successful business owner. Thank you to Taraba Business School. Thank you to the CEO, Mr. Gabriel Olainka. Thank you.
Working with Chief Gabriel Olainka has been a transformative experience for me. He's truly a mentor, and I must commend him for his own initiative, the ideas, and bringing out new things for us to emulate. Thanks to Taraba Business School, thanks to Taraba News, and thanks to Chief Gabriel Olainka.
I'm proud to be part of Taraba News Agency. Taraba News Agency is the largest news agency in Taraba State and in the Northeast. I'm very proud to be a member of the team. Chief Gabriel Olainka has given a platform where we get the latest news around this part of the world.
The vision that started like a joke, just as a Facebook page, today has grown to become a conglomerate. We have a cause to roll out the drum.
And his leadership has inspired a generation of entrepreneurs. Development in Taraba State. Join us in celebrating 10 remarkable years of mentorship and socio-economic development. Years to many more years of inspiring leadership and transformative impact from Chief Gabriel Olainka and Taraba News and Taraba Business School. This is the broadcast of World News on Super Media Television. World News comes up every Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. You can also follow us on Facebook at SUMTV and on YouTube at Super Media TV. Now the major headlines. Romanian leftists win parliamentary elections amid uncertainty over presidency. Romanian centrist and leftist parties look to have fended off a surge by the nationalist right in Sunday's parliamentary election, as attention turned to a top court ruling later on Monday on whether to annul the results of the presidential vote. Romania, if the court approves the results, independent far-right candidate Calin Georgescu will face center-right contender Elena Lasconi in a runoff vote on December 8. Romanian authorities say the country is a key target for hostile actors such as Russia, and have accused video streaming platform TikTok of giving preferential treatment to one candidate. Both Russia and TikTok deny any wrongdoing. Sunday's parliamentary election, the second of 3 ballots scheduled over a period of as many weeks, saw the ruling leftist Social Democrat PSD party come first, setting the stage for what is likely to be a period of coalition formed with centrist parties. We want a coalition that will continue Romania's European course, Social Democrat Vice President Victor Negrescu was quoted as saying by the website of Sterile Pro TV. We expect the Democratic Pro-European Union parties to understand that the Social Democratic Party can be the balancing for homes in North Gaza, airstrike killed 15 medics say. Israel forces bombarded houses in overnight attacks on the northern Gaza Strip, killing at least 15 people in one of the buildings in the town of Beit Lahia, Palestinian medics said on Monday. Several others were wounded in the attack and others were missing after a house providing shelter to displaced people was struck, with rescue workers unable immediately to bring them, the Palestinian Civil Emergency Service said. The 3 barely operational hospitals in the area were unable to cope with the number of the wounded they added. Clusters of houses were bombed and some set ablaze in Jabalia, in Beit Lahiya and Beit Anon, where the Israeli army has been operating for several weeks, residents said. They said Israeli drones had dropped bombs outside the school, sheltering displaced families, suggesting this was intended to scare them into leaving. The Palestinians said Israeli army is trying to clear people out of the northern edge of Gaza with forced evacuations and bombardment to create a buffer zone. The Israeli army denies this. The Israeli military, which began its offensive against Hamas in Gaza after the militant group attacked on southern Israel communities on October 7, 2023, has said its latest operation in northern Gaza are meant to prevent militants regrouping and waging attacks from those areas. Israeli military campaign in Gaza has killed more than 44,400 people and displaced most of the population, Gaza officials said. Vast swathes of the enclave lies in ruins. About 1,200 people were killed and over 250 taken hostage in the Hamas attack on the October 2023 attack on Israel, according to Israeli tallies. Georgia's PM hit back as protests and resignation intensify. Georgia has seen a fourth night of street demonstration and a string of public resignations, triggered by the ruling party's decision to suspend a push to start talks on joining the European Union. As tens of thousands of Georgians headed back to the streets of several cities, Prime Minister Irakli Kobakidze said they have fallen victim to opposition lies and a rejected call for new elections. He confirmed reports that Georgia ambassador to the U.S., David Zakhleliani, has become the latest senior diplomat to stand down, explaining that he has come under considerable pressure. But Kobakidze sought to deny the reasons for the protest, saying on Sunday that we have not suspended anything, it is a lie. Only 3 days before, his party, Georgian Dream, has accused the EU of using talks on joining the Union as blackmail and said the government has decided not to put that issue on their agenda until the end of 2028. Pro-EU protesters were out in big numbers again on Sunday night, and when fireworks were aimed at the Parliament building as well as riot police, the police responded with water cannon. Large groups of riot police huddled in the streets beside Parliament, and it was not until early on Monday that the protests on the main Rustaveli Avenue were dispersed. As demonstrators fled the area, a number of people were detained, including Zurab Chaparidze, one of the leaders of the opposition alliance Coalition for Change. Georgia's Interior Ministry said later that 21 officers were injured in clashes overnight, while the pro-opposition president Salome Zobrabichvili said arrested protesters have been subject to beatings and cited lawyers who said the majority of them have sustained serious injuries. Biden hopes Americans will understand Saul's pardon. U.S. President Joe Biden has issued an official pardon for his son Hunter, who was facing sentencing for 2 criminal cases despite previously ruling it out. In a statement, the president said his son has been singled out and called his cases a miscarriage of justice. Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to tax charges earlier in September and was found guilty of being an illegal drug user in possession of a gun in June, becoming the first child of a sitting president to be pardoned given by Joe Hunter, including 6 January hostages who has now been in prison for years. Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Trump was referring to his supporters who stormed the U.S. Capitol on 6 January 2021 in a bid to overturn Trump's defeat in the 2020 elections. Joe Biden's full and unconditional pardon for his son comes after the president has previously said he will not give him clemency. Just a couple of months ago in September, the White House press secretary said that Biden would not issue a pardon for his son. But on Sunday evening, President Biden said although he believed in the justice system, politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice. From the day I took office, I said I will not interfere with the Justice Department decision-making, and I kept my word even as I've watched my son be selectively and unfairly prosecuted, he said. Biden said he wrestled with the decision and added, once I make this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president will come to this decision, he said. 3 dead and dozens sick after eating sea turtle stew. 3 people have died and at least 32 hospitalized in the Philippines after eating an endangered sea turtle cooked in stew. Dozens of indigenous Pedure people reported symptoms such as diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal spasm since eating the dish last week in a seaside town in Magudanao del Norte province, officials said. While it is illegal to hunt or consume sea turtles under the Philippines environmental protection law, the marine creatures are still eaten as a traditional delicacy in some communities. But sea turtles that consume contaminated algae, including those that appear healthy, can be toxic when cooked and eaten. Some of the dogs, cats, and chickens that were fed the same sea turtle also died. Irene Diallo, a local official, told the BBC. She added that authorities were investigating the cause of the death. The sea turtle was cooked as adobo, a popular Filipino dish consisting of meat and vegetables stewed in vinegar and soy sauce. Residents of Datu Blas, Sinswat, a coastal town known for its white, sandy beaches and clear waters, frequently get their food from the sea. It was unfortunate because there's so much other seafood in their village, lobsters, fish, Ms. Dalen said. Most of the residents were hospitalized and since been discharged, local media reported, while the 3 who died were buried immediately in line with local tradition. Syria's President Assad seeks allies' support as rebel advance. Syria President Bashar al-Assad sought to show up support from his allies Sunday after a monitor said shock rebel offensive saw government forces lose control of Aleppo for the first time since the start of the country's civil war. An Islamist-dominated rebel attacked forces of the Iranian and Russian-backed government on Wednesday. The same day, a fragile ceasefire took effect in neighboring Lebanon between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah after 2 months of all-out war. Islamist Ayat Tahrir al-Sham, two group and allied factions now control Aleppo city, except the neighborhoods controlled by the Kurdish forces. Rami Abdel Rahman, head of the British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, told AFP. For the first time since the civil war started more than a decade ago, the country's second city is out of control of Syrian regime forces, he said. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi traveled to Damascus on Sunday to meet Assad, saying before his departure that Tehran will firmly support the Syrian government and army, Iranian state media reported. After the talks, Assad emphasized the importance of the support of allies and friends in confronting foreign-backed terrorist attacks. Araghchi landed late Sunday in Ankara, where he was expected to meet with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan on Monday before talks with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Trump is intelligent and experienced, capable of finding solutions. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday praised U.S. President-elect Donald Trump as an intelligent and experienced politician capable of finding solutions as tensions in Moscow and the West wrap up over the war in Ukraine. Speaking to reporters in Kazakhstan, Putin castigated President Joe Biden for creating additional difficulties for the incoming Trump administration after Biden gave Ukraine permission to fire longer-range American missiles called ATACMS and it targets deep inside Russia. The Russian president also threatened to strike Ukraine again with a nuclear-capable ballistic missile called Oreshnik, following Moscow's widespread overnight attack Wednesday targeting critical energy infrastructure facilities. Asked whether Biden's decision will impact future relations between Moscow and Washington, Putin suggested things could improve after Trump took office in January. As far as I can imagine, the newly elected president is an intelligent and already quite experienced person. I think he will find a solution, Putin said. Putin's congenial tone is in marked contrast with the Kremlin's threat against the outgoing Biden's administration, which Putin accused of escalating the war in Ukraine by allowing Kiev to fire ATCMS at military targets in Russia. Ireland's TikTok Tao search faces scrutiny as election looms. Ireland's youngest Prime Minister Simon Harris is facing intense scrutiny as the country heads to the polls. Harris, dubbed the TikTok Tao search, has been using his social media presence to connect with Ireland's young population and address their concern about the housing crisis, and has raised doubts about his sincerity as a leader, according to journalist Jennifer Bray. Harris' party, Fine Gael, has been in power for 14 years, and extending their stint will require complex coalition arrangements. If successful, they will set a new record in Irish politics, says Professor David Farrell of University College Dublin. However, there is a real prospect that the party may fall victim to the incumbency cause, which has seen incumbent parties struggle in elections globally this year. Russian jets strike Syria. Offensive on Saturday. They claim to have also entered the city of Hama. Airstrikes that hit the entrance of Aleppo University Hospital killed 12 civilians and injured 23 others, said the Syrian Civil Defense, also known as the White Helmets. The Syrian army and Russia denied attacking civilians and said they had targeted insurgent hideouts. Images from the city of Idlib also showed the aftermath of a strike with a vehicle on fire and debris covering the street. A White Helmet volunteer told Sky Sport, warplanes are everywhere, targeting everything.
Hello viewers, welcome to SUMTV. Taraba Business School and Taraba News cordially invite you to 10th year anniversary, which is going to take place at follows: 6 December 2024, venue Grand Shield Hotel. And guess what?
We'll be featuring dinner, new business ideas, award night, and a lot more. Please don't miss out for anything. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Which is going to take place at follows: 6 December 2024, venue Grand Shield Hotel. And guess what?
We'll be featuring dinner, new business ideas, award night, and a lot more. Please don't miss out for anything. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Taraba News and Taraba Business School, 10 years of excellence, leadership, and service to Taraba State. Welcome back. This is the broadcast of World News on Super Media Television. World News comes up every Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. You can also follow us on Facebook at SUMTV and on YouTube at Super Media TV. Coming up next, Trump threatened 100% tariffs on BRICS countries seeking to replace US dollars. American President-elect Donald Trump has said he will require BRICS countries, a China and Russia-backed group of emerging economies, to commit to not over. We require commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling to the wonderful US economy, Trump posted on through social media. BRICS is made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Earlier this year, Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, and Egypt formally joined the first expansion, as it will be recalled that barely 2 months ago, the country officially joined BRICS as a partner country alongside 12 other nations in a bid to strengthen its economic ties with Guinea. 56 killed in football match stampede. A devastating stampede at a football match in Guinea's second largest city in Zerekore has left at least 56 people dead, according to the government. The violence erupted on Sunday afternoon during a match between rival teams, with supporters storming the field after a contentious referee decision. Eyewitnesses described the chaotic scene, with fans hurling stones at the pitch and police deploying tear gas in response. The situation escalated, with angry demonstrators vandalizing and setting fire to the local police station. Guinea's Prime Minister Ba Uri has condemned the violence and urged calm, promising a full investigation into the incident. The government has put the provisional death toll as 56, with many more injured. The match was part of a tournament organized in honor of Guinea's military leader Mamadi Doumbouya, who seized power in the 2021 coup. The tournament has been criticized by opposition parties as an attempt to promote Doumbouya's presidential ambitions. The incident highlights the ongoing challenges facing Guinea, including political instability and violence. The country is set to hold elections in 2025, but the path to democratic transition remains uncertain. Australian police make record-breaking cocaine bust, arresting 13 individuals. In the largest cocaine bust in that is staggering $494 million. But the Australian Federal Police tracked a fishing boat that met a mother ship loaded with cocaine off the coast of Queensland, leading to the arrest. The investigation, which began months ago, was prompted by a tip-off about a motorcycle gang planning to smuggle drugs into the country. AFP commander Stephen Jay emphasized that criminals will go to extreme lengths to smuggle drugs, causing harm to Australian communities. The arrested individuals, including 11 men and 2 juveniles, have been charged with conspiracy to import a commercial quantity of border-controlled drugs. They face life imprisonment if convicted. This massive bust is a significant win for Australian authorities, who have been working tirelessly to combat illicit drug trafficking. Indonesia, Canada signed comprehensive economic partnership. Indonesia and Canada on Monday signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, CAPA, that aims to strengthen economic ties between the two G20 members 3 years after negotiations began. The agreement will take effect in 2026 and was signed in Jakarta by trade ministers of both countries. Indonesian Trade Minister Budi Santoso said Indonesia appreciated Canada's support for its plans to prioritize its critical mineral sectors, which was vital for its sustainable growth. Together, we advance sustainable critical mineral management, supporting Indonesia's net zero target by 2060, and fostering Canadian investment while driving green growth in both nations, it told a joint conference. Indonesia has rich deposits of tin, copper, and bauxite, among others, and is the world's largest source of nickel ore. Under CEPA, Indonesia will see liberalization of 90.5% of the total tariffs for goods entering Canada, with a trade value of $1.4 billion. The two-way trade between Indonesia and Canada was $3.4 billion last year, according to with Indonesia Trade Ministry. Canada has estimated bilateral trade at $5.1 billion in 2023. Canada's main export to Indonesia were agricultural produce, products, fertilizers, while Indonesia mainly exported machinery and electrical machinery, as well as garments and footwear. Canada's International Trade Minister, Mary Ng, said the country's cattle industry was also represented on the Jakarta visit and looking to play a part in President Prabowo Santo signature program to provide free school meals from next year. Asked about the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's plans to impose a 25% tariffs on Canadian goods, Ng told Reuters, "We need to work with the Americans, and we're committed to doing that, and that work will certainly continue." The good news here is that Canada and Indonesia, in the negotiating of this trade agreement, means that we are creating a predictability of our trading relationship, bringing down tariffs, she added. Mother American hostage shaking after Hamas released video of him. The mother of Israeli American hostage Eden Alexander told NBC News she was both shaken and relieved to see her son in a Hamas-issued propaganda video. To get this video, it's a huge relief for me to see that he's still strong. It was amazing, Alexander said in a video called Saturday, hours after the video, caption "Time is running out," was posted on the Telegram channel of Hamas military wing, the Qassam Brigades. Eden grew up in New Jersey and had volunteered to serve with the Israel military. He was stationed outside Gaza when he was among around 250 people taken hostage during Hamas terror attacks on October 7, 2023. That also saw 1,200 people killed, according to the Israeli tallies. Around 100 people remain in captivity, although it's thought are believed to be dead. The 20-year-old, who appeared under duress in the Hamas video, calls on President-elect Donald Trump to use his power to negotiate for their freedom of those who remain in captivity in Gaza. Eden, who at points can be seen covering face with concern and crying, adds that he does not want to end up like fellow American Israeli Ash Goldberg Polin, who was killed while being aired by Hamas in August. To see him speaking, crying just to see him like I am still shaking, Yala Alexander said. He cried a lot in this video. It was very tough to see Eden like this. It was tough, she added. Yala Alexander said she spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu shortly after the video was released. He told me that he's with us, he's embracing us, she said, adding that he told her that he was going to do whatever he can to secure a deal to free the remaining hostages. Netanyahu office said in a statement after the call that he feel very much the anguish of what Eden Alexander and the hostages were going through, and assured them that Israel was working with determination in every way to return them home, along with all the hostages who are in the hands of the enemy. But with a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, Hezbollah militant group appear to be holding. There have been few signs of progress in talks to secure release of the remaining hostages or cessation of fighting with Hamas in Gaza, where more than 44,000 have been killed in 14 months of war, according to local health officials. Hamas leaders held talk with Egyptian security officials to explore ways to reach a deal with Israel that could secure the release of hostages in return for Palestinian prisoners. Lebanese civilians return home to shattered lives and cities after ceasefire. The crushing reality of homes and business reduced to crumbled cement and mango steel has colored the joy many in Lebanon felt after Israel and Hezbollah agreed a ceasefire earlier this week. "I have no house. Now we're looking in the village to rent one apartment," Ali Aid, 56, told NBC News in a telephone interview Friday after return to his hometown of Maraka in southern Lebanon Tire district. "We, as many other people, are extremely happy to come back, but at the same time, I look at the people who lost their houses and their loved good teacher." Ed was one of the almost 1.2 million displaced inside Lebanon as Israel and the Hezbollah militant group traded fire during almost 14 months of conflict that began the day after Hamas' October 7, 2023 terrorist attack, in which about 1,200 people were killed and around 250 taken hostage, according to Israeli authorities. Thousands of people displaced to northern Lebanon by the fighting have started to make their way back south as the fragile ceasefire negotiated by the United States continue to hold, despite Israel urging them to stay put.